Yeah, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Dis-Cember. I bounced out of that shit. Did you see that? I was like, I was just sitting back in it. That's all. Uh, we're we're back with Dis-Cember day 16. Ow! We are officially halfway through with Dis-Cember. I took a break to record my Stargirl season 3 review. That is up on the channel now. I was going to release it the 1st of January, but thought, nah, by then, it won't be relevant if I do it, so just do it right away. So, yeah. But we are talking about a Goofy movie now that came out in 1995. And remember, in my review for Oliver and Company, where I said there were two movies that should be considered part of the Disney Renaissance. Oliver and Company, because if it wasn't for Oliver and Company, they wouldn't have gone with their one movie a year thing, and we wouldn't have had the Renaissance in the 90s. But also this movie. Now, the reason it's not considered is because it's not done by Walt Disney Animation Studios. It's done by another studio. I can't remember. What is it? Does it say on the back? Excuse me. I don't think so. But what a Goofy movie is essentially a sequel movie to Goof Troop. It has all the characteristics, the animation, everything of the Goof Troop, which was the 90s Goofy TV show. Only thing missing are Pete's wife and daughter, Peg and Pistol. And yes, that was the name of the dog. And they both owned cats, I believe. But yeah, the story here is that Max is now in high school, and it's almost summertime, and he has a crush on this girl named Roxanne. So he is going to impress her, and he does, and he gets asked to this pay-per-view concert party at another schoolmate's house, and he gets invited by this girl, Roxanne, to go there, but his little stunt has put him in deep doo-doo. You'll say in a big doo-doo this time. And so Principal Maze, it's not Pauly Shore, but Pauly Shore is in this movie. It's actually Wallace Shawn. Never mess with a Sicilian when death is on the line. Yeah, him. Inconceivable. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. Anyway, calls Goofy, and so he's basically in trouble, and Goofy's like, we're gonna go on a camping trip to Lake Destiny, Idaho. Lake Hudo, Pete. Lake Destiny, Idaho. And so he grabs Max, takes him away, and so he has to lie to Roxanne and tell her, I can't come to the party because I want to be in the concert in LA, and my dad knows power line. Yeah, we're gonna be in the concert. We're gonna be on TV, and now he's screwed. And so now he's on this camping trip that he didn't want to go on. And okay, so this is where I'm conflicted now, because as a kid, I was on Max's side, but here, now as an adult, I'm conflicted, because at one point I see the point of a father wanting to spend more time with his son. I get that. But I also see Max's side, where he impressed this girl like he wanted to, and he wants, he got this date, and he just wants to keep the date. And no matter what he tells his dad, he's like, Dad, I got a party. Oh, there will be parties when you come back, but not this party, And also, PJ's not going either, because we find out he's going cabin too. I mean, we already know he's going cabin, but PJ's not going to be at that party anyway. Bobby is, but yeah, they introduced the new character of Bobby, who is voiced by Pauly Shore, and he's the, Leaning Tower of Cheese, bruh. Yeah, it's Pauly Shore. It's Pauly Shore in animated form. That's all it is. So, yeah. So if you want Pauly Shore in animated form, that's what he is. Even Mesa, what's up, bro? A little smokies. Ow, we're busted. It's Pauly Shore, which I grew up loving Pauly Shore. This, and Encino Man. And then later, Son-in-Law. So I love. But yeah, it's yeah. But and it's a musical. It is a musical. You have songs. The movie actually starts off with a nightmare where doesn't really come back, although it's sort of a running thing where Max doesn't want to become his father. He turns in his father literally in the dream, and then later, after the After Today song, he does the goofy laugh, and then at the end of the movie he does too. But it's not really addressed. I guess you could say that he, like, spending time with his father is about to, like, he doesn't want anything to do with his father. I don't know. It's a teenager thing. Who knows? But so he's forced to go on this because he set up this thing in school where he jumps around like Powerline, who I can say it's like a fusion of Prince and Michael Jackson. I always said it was the goofy version, or the you know what I mean, the goofy version of Michael Jackson. And I don't mean goofy as in hey, but goofy like the Disney goof version in this world where everyone is apparently dogs, but there's also cats. And Mickey and Donald are on the side of the road. I know, it's confusing. It's confusing. The VHS for this, I should mention this before I forget. There were 2 VHSs that we had. We had one VHS that the VCR ate, so we had to get a new one. But the original VHS had a song at the beginning of the VHS from Parachute Express called Dr. Looney. And I remembered that. Normally, you put in a VHS tape and you fast forward to the credits, or you let the credits roll while you're getting stuff prepared, which is cool. But Blu-rays and DVDs nowadays, they just go straight to the movie. There's no previews anymore. You have a choice to watch the previews on the disc, I think, but there's no previews anymore. And that kind of takes away. I always liked watching the previews. You know, my mom or whoever was watching the movie with us would go get stuff prepared while the credits were playing, while the trailers were playing, the previews were playing, and I'd sit there watching the previews because I like seeing what the previews were, you know. And I like going back to old VHS tapes and seeing what previews were on the VHS tapes. This had that Parachute Express song, Dr. Looney. Look it up on YouTube. It's a goofy song and it fits with the movie. But there was another VHS tape we got after the first one ate it. After the VCR ate the first one, we got a new one, and that one didn't have. It was a different reissue. It was like the gold. It was like the Masterpiece collection that they had on VHS, because they had the regular diamond collections that they came out with, and then they had the Masterpiece collection, and this was the Goofy movie Masterpiece collection that didn't have that in front of it, and I was so disappointed because that was gone forever. And then YouTube came along, and I can watch it whenever I want now. It's on YouTube. Check it out. But yeah, so Max was forced to go on this camp trip. It was nothing to do with it. We get the second song, third song. So we get After Today, which is basically Max saying, after today, I'm going to be popular. I'm going to have the girl. And we get Stand Out, which is the song where Max is trying to impress the girl. And then we get On the Open Road, which is the song that Goofy and Max sing while they're on the open road. It's the positive side for Goofy, the negative side for Max, because Max does not want to be there. And then Goofy takes him to Lester's Possum Park. Lester's Possum Park. And I just got one question for you. Who's your favorite possum? Beat it, doofus. Yeah. Who's your favorite possum? Lester. Actually, it doesn't even go that way in the scene, because the scene is there's this guy dressed as a possum, which people dressed as animals. I don't know, it's really weird. And he's like, who's your favorite possum? And Max is like, not now. And he turns away and he's like, oh, you need a big hug. And he hugs him. Beat it, doofus. and then he punches them and the head twists around because it's a fake head. It's funny. But now my son and I have kind of done was like, who's your favorite possum? Beat it, doofus. It's funny. And this also gives us one of there's the creepiest child in this movie is this little girl with pigtails, missing 2 teeth. She's going, you pause at the right time, it would be like Nightmare Fuel. Man, it's just freaky. Right now, he doesn't like this either because his dad's embarrassing him. So they go to this lake where they're going to, practice fishing. But then Pete and PJ just so happen to show up, and they got an RV. And again, though, 2 sides of the thing. Yes, as a father, you want to spend time with your son, but as a kid, Max wants to have fun, right? He sees this cool RV. They invited him to dinner, and he wants to do that. But Goofy's like, no, we're going to go fishing, whatever. They end up catching Bigfoot with Pete's steak that they accidentally grabbed. So trying to do the perfect cast, which does not fit to its name because I don't know. But yeah, as a kid, I'm like, yeah, I want to, still as an adult, I want to be on that RV because it's awesome. Big screen TV and shit. Yeah. But then also as a father, you're like, I spend time with your kid. But, you get your cake and eat it too here. You can spend time with your son, who's going to be there with his friend. And then you got your friend Pete, and you're hanging with them too. And you're all together. It's a thing. It might not be ideal, but I think it would still work. I don't know. Goofy tries too much and then not enough when he does his own. I don't know. It's very weird. But because of Bigfoot, they're now stuck in the car and the keys are outside. I'm guessing they eventually get the keys because they're able to drive to a diner the next day. I'm guessing. Yeah, and there's the scene with the High Dad soup, which is a little bit of a tearjerker. As a father, it kind of gets you. High Dad soup. And then, there's no songs for a while, but then they go to the diner and we get another scene that I like. Eggs. I love that diner lady. I love the waitress. She's funny. But, Goofy decides. So the night before, Max found the map in the glove compartment, and he changed the course, so they're going to LA. The next day, Goofy decides, Max, you're in charge of the map. So he didn't really need to do that then. But now Max is in charge of the map. And I think the writers did that to justify why Goofy wouldn't look at the map. Why Max would be the one doing it. Sorry. Shook the camera. It's going to be like that. I'm sorry. I can't help it. This thing, I should get a new one tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm still not sure what I'm doing with my paycheck tomorrow, so maybe I will get a new one. With you. But anyway, we keep this one in the back just in case. So yeah, and they do a bunch of stuff. They go to baseball games and all this stuff, all the way to New York, and they stop LA, and they stop at this hotel, which is like mermaid themed or something, under the sea. And wouldn't you know it, Pete and PJ are there too. And this is the part that I really don't care for, because Max and PJ are talking about it. He told PJ that he changed the map, but Pete overhears this and tells Goofy. And yes, this gives us character development. I don't know. I don't see a way that it would have worked even if Pete hadn't figured it out. I don't know. But if he didn't figure it out, I guess it kind of goes. in the direction that they go with this, where Goofy finds out, so when it's time to drive there, Goofy gives him a choice, left or right. Left to LA, right to Lake Destiny, and Max chooses left. So I think maybe in another Disney movie, Goofy wouldn't have found out, and Max would have chosen to go to Lake Destiny instead, changing his mind. But he picks to go to LA still, and this pisses off Goofy. I kind of liked it. They don't just have him, oh, he's had a change of heart, getting closer to his dad, and he chooses to go to the right one. Because the ending to this movie has always worked for me. Even though Max gets what he wants, and he shouldn't, and he should learn the lesson, it always worked for me because I felt like, what would we get on the other side? He goes fishing with his dad, and it's kind of a boring ending. And it would be less time, because it wouldn't be, and then it wouldn't have, worked with the other characters, where they would, what happened to you? How come you weren't on there? And you have to explain to them, where at least they attempt to do this way, where he's, doing this. So they have an argument, and again, this argument is done while they're chasing after the car. Again, most movies would have where they're standing there and they're talking and stuff. Well, I think for kids watching this, them running after it makes a lot of sense. Keeps them invested. Where if they're just standing there talking, kids will be like, "Mommy, when's something gonna happen?" And then they sing the song, "Nobody else but you," while they're floating on a car, which the car wouldn't float, but cartoon. And so they make it to LA, and we get the Powerline concert, and the song "Eye to Eye." That's "Eye to Eye." That's how they do it. I don't know. But yeah. And Powerline is voiced by Tevin Campbell, provides the singing voice. He doesn't actually talk; it's just a singing voice. But they're both good songs that he does. And so their job is to get them on the stage. Goofy walks in on a woman changing, and he does the look, whatever, and then gets knocked into this machine where he's pumped up stage. Meanwhile, Max is running away from a fat security guard in the scaffolding, and Goofy ends up on stage. Max yells for him to do a perfect cast, which he does, and then Max is chased by the fat security guard and lands on stage, where they all both dance with Powerline, and Powerline just says, "Yeah, fuck it," and goes with it, I guess. And he dances along, and everybody sees him dancing on the Powerline at concert. And it's not like Max gets away with this, because the next day, or whenever it was that they get home, in the car, which is very confusing because you think it wouldn't work, but they rode the car all the way to LA, and then on the river, and it still sort of works. It sounds like Mickey's Jalopy now. But yeah, Max apologizes, and they do this joke with Roxanne's dad in both times. It's just, okay, the first time wasn't funny, and the second time's not. Why do it again? I don't know. But he apologizes to Roxanne, said he lied, and his dad and Powerline aren't friends, and they got on stage because he snuck on there, basically, but she forgives him, and then we don't see her again. Well, sort of. She has a small cameo in an extremely goofy movie that's a blink and you'll miss it thing, which we will review next year for Dis-Cember 2023, because I'm not doing sequels this year except for Pirates of the Caribbean, which you already know. But Goofy movie, of course, is going to the moon because it is fantastic film. I think it is great. It's not perfect. No film really is, well, apart from anything with Bill and Ted. But the first one anyway. Okay, even that's not perfect film. I don't know. Child's Play. What is perfect film? Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween, although it's dingy dongy sucked far more than it should. But anyway, dingy dongy. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on a Goofy movie? Let me comment, let me share, like, share, and subscribe. So we are now officially, that's how you pronounce the word, officially halfway through with Dis-Cember. So it means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 16. Had to make sure I counted right because my math is never good. But yeah, Next, well, next is a movie starring a comedian. Next is a movie starring comedian Harlan Williams, based on or named after an Elton John song. That's all I'll say. Until then, thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.